Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to this video. And today we'll talk about what is better or new about Forza Horizon 5 that Forza Horizon 4 doesn't have. I mean, for now, the graphics are still horrible, but I'm sure in Ultra mode and then on triple screen and stuff like that, that is gonna look a lot better than it does now. We're gonna go into the menu, obviously, because that's where most of the things happen. We're gonna start off with the map and then all the other stuff around it. Now, obviously, there is a new map, you know, it's Mexico. It isn't Britain anymore. I think the Mexico map is quite a bit bigger than the Britain map, and it certainly also feels a lot bigger because there's a lot more elevation. Like in the Britain map, you had the hills up here in this sort of region, but this thing, just there's a lot more elevation, there's a lot more, well, stuff going on, so it just, even if it wouldn't be bigger, it just feels bigger as well. And the new thing is, you can get basically all the races, all the challenges right from the beginning. You don't have to work through different stages and levels to unlock more races, essentially, and you basically just get all of them clunked onto your minimap the second you start off, which is a bit cluttery, gotta say, because obviously some things just overlap. Like, for example, if you go to the Horizon Festival, you can't actually find it because this race is over it, so that's a bit not great, but hey, that's all fine. So the map is great, the graphics are great, if I were to have a better PC, which is absolutely amazing. And then obviously you also have the playlist again, which is the same thing as in Forza Horizon 4, but obviously visual upgrades everywhere. Not a big fan of this modern style of graphics, but you gotta get used to it eventually. It's not better, it's just different. And the same thing is, the series are just the same again. Pretty much you have a series reward, you have a 4 seasons, you have individual rewards. However, what they changed, what I think is really great, is that you now get points instead of percent, because like with an old model, you didn't know what thing gives how many percent, and now you exactly know, if I do this chapter, I get 5 points. That is a lot better, and there's a great improvement, and also they categorized it, I think, a lot better here, rather than just doing it all together, you know, but that is just all visual upgrades. Essentially, you still have the same, you still have 3 championships, you have the 3 speed zones, you have the online event, the playground games, those are back, which is nice, and you'll got the arcade events, and the trial isn't available yet, for me, because I gotta enter the Hall of Fame first, so we'll see about that later though. But yeah, you can also get the DeLorean, which is quite nice. And speaking of that, there is a lot more cars, and there's also the Horizon Adventure, which basically just replaced the extra stages now. You can get all these things here, and you can unlock a lot more stuff. I haven't gotten that yet, but I'd say that is very nice, and you probably unlock a lot more races with that stuff as well, which is very nice. Step into the ring and wrestle with the monster. Damn, that's interesting. But yeah, you also now have the accolades as well, which is quite cool. However, the reward system is a bit shit, because like you have to individually look for them every time, rather than just pressing a button in the menu, just claim rewards. That would be very nice if they would add that, you know, just because I'm lazy. So then I get to another thing, obviously, and that is the cars. And the one thing that I immediately don't like is that the menu is a lot bigger. Now you have, the cars are bigger, you only have 2 in a row, they're a lot wider, which means if you're looking for a specific car, you have to scroll a lot further to actually find it, which is a bit annoying. And also, the My Festival thing, there's a lot more names to choose from. There isn't as many clothing items, I think, but maybe they'll add them later, but I don't know, that doesn't really matter too much, because obviously you don't really see the character in the car. Then, what you also have, you can do auto upgrades, you know, that automatically allows you to upgrade a car all the way, which is nice. And, but you can't find any custom upgrade setups as far as I can see, so that's a bit sad. To kind of ruin that. Obviously, you have the design and paint thing again.
You're in the right place.
And I'm gonna have to make a candy van eventually, but we'll see. So then I'm gonna take a look at the auto show here, because there is a lot more cars. There's I think 100 more cars. However, that all doesn't matter, because the most important car of the entire game has been removed, and that's why this game is substantially worse than Forza Horizon 4. You know, if we go down here to P, there is no Peel. So there is no Peel P50 in this game at the moment, which is sad. I mean, at least you have the Willys, which is okay. So I will upgrade my Willy later. Wait, that sounds wrong. But still, there is no Peel P50, and that is quite sad. You also have the Forza shop again, all those kind of things. You also have the Horizon Arcade, which is just the, what was it called, Forza Live. But renamed, I guess. And it's pretty much the most of the features have been copied, and for some reason, I'm playing on a controller, but for some reason my mouse is just on screen the entire time, which is a tiny downside. So basically, to sum up, it's Forza Horizon 4, but better, but worse, because there's no PLP50 and my mouse is all over the place. Then, obviously, you still have Street Race, Drag Race, same things again. You have those expeditions, which are fun. I already did all of them. Those are really cool. You got speed traps, speed zones. All that is the same, pretty much. So you're not actually... If you played Forza Horizon 4, you're going to exactly know what's going on. But obviously, as already mentioned earlier, you have the Horizon Adventure now, which just adds another level of complexity and interestingness to it, which is really cool. And in terms of the races, they're the same as before as well. You know, you have lap races, you have percent races, and the system, how they work, is basically the same. Also, what is a new feature is that now you have these recommended section, where it recommends you cars for a certain race, which is great for the people that aren't really into cars that much, but still want to enjoy the game. You know, that don't really know much about this kind of thing, because obviously now you just can pick one of the ones that's recommended and you just roll. Like, for example, me with this electric Porsche, which is pretty cool, but then again, it's a bit weird because it has no engine sound. However, what I gotta say as well, obviously, you have the cars, you have the map, you have the graphics, which are obviously great, not on my PC though, and you also have the sound. I think the sound is also a lot better. You know, the car engines of all the different cars that I drove so far are a lot more refined, sound a lot better, which is very nice, even though the MG Project 1 kinda sounds like a washing machine. But that is to be excused, I suppose. God damn. Look at that. Now, difficulty settings, tunings, it's all the same. It's just visual upgrades everywhere. I put it to expert because I think the Forza 5 driver tires, they're a bit better than they were in 4. Which is nice, because the unbeatable ones in Forza 4 were as unbeatable as it suggests. And the thing about races is, they're great. You know, if you don't want to try hard, if you don't want to go in too much, it's your game, it's a single player game, so you can put them to whatever you want. And you can just enjoy the game, and that is great. You know, you don't have any annoying online people to annoy you, and hopefully, as online is going to be the last thing I'll cover in this video, there isn't any online mic issues anymore, because the biggest problem I had with Forza Horizon 4, which says a lot about how great that game actually is. The biggest issue I had with Forza 4 is that you just couldn't turn off other people's microphone in online races. And so you had some guy talking to a hairdryer the entire time while you tried to actually beat the driver tires and, you know, actually do something. But, you know, I hope they fix that, and we'll find out later. But for now, obviously nothing changes. The car is a mobile bounce pad, basically, so if you just bounce off them, that is very nice, and you can just use that to your advantage. And now I am leading, which is nice. It's expert driver tires. I think the best way to enjoy the game is just to set them in a way where you can win every race, but you can't win it just by driving. You gotta put in a bit of effort, because that makes it interesting, that makes it fun. You know, you don't want to just win by a country mile, because that makes it a bit pointless in my eyes. But you don't want to have to try hard the entire time either, you know, like, for example, if I screw up, he's going to come back at me, which, you know, makes you drive better. But, you know, in the end, you can set up however you like, you can drive whatever car you want, which is a great thing about single-player games. You know, that is lovely. That is simply lovely. So, I mean, there's no sound in this car, but that's weird. I don't know, I don't mind electric cars, they're cool, but they just don't have a sound. You know, that's not really great, because it's just gonna get run over by some random maniac doing a street race. But anyway, speaking of random maniacs, let's go into the online races. Massive panda balls. I think that do. Privacy is public, so if you want to join... Fucking hell! And surprise, surprise, the online doesn't actually work, which, I mean, I guess it's a very new game, that can happen, or my internet is just shit, and I would probably assume it's the latter. But you also have wheel spins again, which is nice. So you don't have clothes in the wheel spin anymore, which is great, because now you have actually more rewards, like more proper rewards. You have some clothing in there, sure, but it's a lot less than it was before, which is nice. You can buy the clothing for credits as well, which is nice. So you can make a lot of money with the wheel spins, and they're very nice. However, speaking of clothes, I got a chunky watch. So yeah, anyway. Online is dead, as of now, which is sad. And I am too. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Really appreciate that, and I hope I can see you again for a next one. Goodbye!